I should have got one of these a long time ago. This is gonna save a lot of trips back and forth to the feed store, and it's gonna save some money by buying feed in bulk rather than bags. Let's check it out. Hey guys, it's Rhett from the 100 Acre Wood Highlands. I just got back from the feed store with a brand new Tough Livestock Products grain trailer or feed buggy, whatever you want to call this. It's gonna let me buy feed in bulk rather than bags from now on. And I'm really excited about having this because up until now, I've been making trips back and forth to the feed store, it seems like every week, buying 5 or 10 bags here, a few bags there, and it's always different brands depending upon what store I go to. And I'm paying prices between $7.50 a bag to almost $10 a bag. And now I can buy stuff in bulk, which is gonna give me less trips back and forth to the feed store, and I get a better price. So I'm gonna share with you a little bit about what I paid for this, how much the bulk feed actually cost me, and what that's going to end up saving us in our winter feed bill. Moose has found a new scratching post, apparently. If you only knew what was inside this trailer. On a lot of farm operations, the biggest annual cost that you're going to have is your winter feed bill. So here on our place, we've of course been feeding hay throughout the winter, but we also supplement them with protein cubes and protein tubs and other things like that. But it results in having lots of trips back and forth. And I went and grabbed a couple of the tags off of some of the different bags that I've been buying to kind of compare. Because when we went to the feed store today, they had different options, but I just took what they recommended, which was called the D&H Bull Byproduct Blend. And it's a 17.5% protein, 4% fat, 20% fiber. It also has calcium, phosphorus, salt, potassium, vitamins A, vitamins D. It's got all kinds of stuff in it, but that's what they had recommended for us today. What I've been buying in the past is 20% protein cubes. So this blend is gonna be a little bit less protein, but it looks like it's a little bit higher in some other things like the fat and the fiber, and also it has a few more vitamins and minerals in this blend that we got than that 20% cattle feed that I've been buying. But the big deal has been in the trips back and forth and not necessarily having a great place to store it, because when I've been buying bags, I've just been having to store those inside the barn. And I've got some of those big round tubs that I put stuff inside, but those can only hold so much. And if I buy 10 bags at a time, it means that most of those bags end up stacked on the floor where mice or raccoons or other things could eventually get to them, which I don't want to attract those kind of animals to the barn where I'm keeping that feed, which is the same barn where the chickens are at. The other thing is that you can potentially get some moisture in there and spoil the feed. So this tub here allows me to buy it in bulk. Today I ended up buying 2,580 pounds. So you get on the scale first, they weigh you, they send you to the loading area where you're gonna get this blend, they fill it up, and then you weigh yourself on the way out. And 2,580 pounds is what we ended up, and we filled it pretty darn full in this one. And so, you know, this is probably gonna last me quite a while, and it's gonna make less trips back and forth. The other thing though is that it's completely sealed in around the sides where mice and raccoons and stuff aren't gonna get into it. It's got a kind of pretty heavy lift gate in the back for filling up buckets that I'll show you. And it's also got a nice lid on top that's gonna help shed water, but I've got it inside the barn here too, so it's gonna stay nice and dry and away from any kind of moisture. But to give a little bit of comparison on how much this is gonna save me in terms of money, let's do some math. So if I was just buying 50-pound bags, to get 2,580 pounds at 50-pound bags, I would need 51.5 bags. The most expensive bags, as I looked through my receipt this year, cost me about $9.50, which would be about $490 in feed. And the least expensive bags that I was able to find were about $7.50, which is $387. This whole trailer load in the feed portion cost me $318. So going by those least expensive bags, I'm saving about 15% by buying in bulk rather than bags. And by going by the most expensive bags that I bought, I'm saving 35%. A 35% savings is a pretty big deal. Now the trade-off is that these trailers were hard to find and they weren't cheap. This trailer ended up costing a little over $2,000, and I've been calling the local feed store and some other locations for a couple of weeks now trying to find one of these in stock. So even with this trailer being a little bit hard to find one in stock, and even though we had to purchase one brand new, I think in the long run, the cost savings of saving between 15 and 35% on the feed by buying it in bulk rather than bags is going to make up for the cost of the trailer in the long run. And by being brand new, it's in good shape, it's got good tires, it's got working lights, it seems to be a really, really nice trailer. I'm going to show you a little bit about how some of the features and stuff on it work. So on the neck of the trailer, there's a little bit of a standing platform that's got some grip attached to it so you don't slip and fall. It's got a handle right here on the front where you kind of lift and push to the side, and you can see I filled this pretty darn close to the top. It's a lot smaller than what I've been calling cake or cubes, and we may still buy some bags of that from time to time because we have a few that we like to feed by hand. You can see there's bits of corn in here in addition to the protein pellets, but this lid keeps it covered. Now the back has a little chute where you can line your bucket up or whatever you're going to fill up underneath it. It's got a handle right here, and it's got some handles on the side. You can just kind of slowly lift it up. Feed starts to come through, and then you can slide it back down. So that's going to keep animals from getting in there and let you just fill up however much you need in the bucket. Well, I think our bulk feed trailer is going to be a good long-term investment. It's going to give us a way to buy feed cheaper. That's what we're going to give here to our registered heifers, Emporia, Pepper, and Moose. And it's also going to give us a little bit of something extra that we can give the big cows out in the other pasture throughout the winter. If you haven't already, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram by searching 100 Acrewood Highlands. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.